everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cubica AMF Seeds of Success podcast. Each week we will plant knowledge, insights, practical tips, and trends so your center can be in striking success. My name is Orly, and as always, our other host Dottie is with us today. Dottie, how are you doing?
Hi, Orly. I'm good. I'm very excited about the show we have in front of us.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. Today's show title is Experience is Everything. Dottie, did you want to let everyone listening know a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about today?
Absolutely, Orly. So, I recently was watching TV and it was NBA All-Star Weekend.
Okay.
And I'm a huge basketball fan, but I'm very, very much dedicated to my team. And unfortunately, my team wasn't in the playoffs or didn't have well representation in the All-Star Weekend. So I wasn't very excited to watch, but it was on at my house. But I have to share with you that there was something that happened that drew me in. And did you get a chance to watch any of All-Star Weekend, Orly?
I did. I saw some highlights, but I didn't get to actually sit down and watch any of it.
Okay. So what really started to draw me in was when I looked, I noticed that the floor was interactive and there was stuff going on the floor while the play was in action. And I was absolutely drawn in. I was amazed, first of all, that basketball had that kind of technology, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it. You've seen things starting to pop up over time. I know the very first interactive experience that I became aware of was like the traveling Van Gogh immersive experience, interactive experience, right?
Yeah.
But for it to be the All-Star Weekend, the venue that they were having all the All-Star events in just blew me away.
Yeah. And what I think is cool about that, you did share a video with me, is to me, it brings in a whole new crowd. Like you said, you don't usually, you might not usually watch, but it brings in a whole nother crowd of people that might want to watch the game just to see like, oh, what's this going to be about? And I think that's really cool.
Right. And, today, people are really looking for opportunities to come together and to enjoy moments and to find some, common ground where they get together with their friends and just go out and have a nice evening out, right? But we realize that you also want to make sure that you have an opportunity to have, for me, I would not have gotten really excited to go to the All-Star game or to any of the All-Star, the slam dunk event or whatever the case may be, simply because, my team's not represented or whatever. I'm just not into basketball that much. But that floor was a game changer for me. And I know I love technology anyway. So it doesn't take much when I see something like this for me to really zoom in and want to pay more attention to it. But I'm no different than anybody else. I was drawn to want to watch this, not for the basketball. You could have asked me what teams were playing when I first saw the floor, and I couldn't have told you because I was mesmerized by this floor. But people are looking for that. They want to be able to feel like they're a part of of what's going on. And as I said, we kind of saw that with you see all now these immersive experiences drop all over the place where you're able to go in and you're able to be a part of it because you're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great way for me to get brought in to that game. But bowling is no different.
Yeah.
People want to be able to feel like they're a part of something, right?
Yeah.
It's no different from back in the day. They felt like they were a part of a team and that feeling of, there's something in it for me. Now, even entertainment and the experience in a bowling center, we have started to see that change. People are coming out. Yes, there's still competitive bowlers and we still have, the need for that competition and leagues and tournaments and stuff. But we also have found that they want to also tap into their desire to have an entertainment experience.
I think what it is too is, it does bring in a new crowd of people. Somebody that might say, I used to bowl, but it might bring in a brand new crowd or maybe a younger crowd and just people that might have got bored with, sometimes you just get bored with something at times,
Yeah.
I think of it with, there's a big theme park, I don't know the rules on saying names of theme parks these days, but I won't say the name, but there's a theme park where I know they would do, this theme park's awesome. People go for years. I've been there a million times, but there's still always something new and wanting you to go back and making you have a better experience. One year I think they did where they were showing these videos and they projected it onto the castle. And that was something new, even though I've been there a million times, it's something always new. Or the rides, like you said, you get to put in it where your photos, that you get this photo at the end, any of those things. And I think with bowling, it's the same thing. With baseball, there's now, there's your regular baseball, and maybe people didn't watch baseball before, but then you have, your friends over the Savannah Bananas. That's a whole new crowd you're bringing in. So there's always a way to bring in more people and make the experience, big for everyone.
Absolutely. And, like we said earlier, you want to be able to have something for everybody in your group to be able to experience. And, I'll be really honest. When I saw the floor, on the thing, I got really excited about it. And I told my husband, I go, we can do that in bowling centers now because Cubica AMF has the Neoverse.
Yeah.
And that, there's a lot to be said for that because, obviously NBA saw the need that they needed to do something to the experience to be able to bring in more people. Right. And same thing with bowling. Bowling has evolved and bowling has become an entertainment option these days for people. And things like the Neoverse wall that is you're going to start seeing out in the market, very shortly. That has given bowling centers the ability to bring in somebody that may not be excited about bowling, but you know what? If you say you're going to XYZ lanes and they have this interactive, experience where they have this Neoverse wall and there's all this stuff going on and it's based on how you're bowling and all this kind of stuff. That's exciting. Yeah. I don't care if I'm the worst bowler under the sun. I'm going to say I'm in for that.
Yeah, I think of, the center I'm at, we, just the lighting itself. Kids would walk in and they're just like looking around in awe, like, wow. And I remember a kid one time, wow, this is epic. And it's like just those lights themselves. And this was just the pin light, the pin light. So imagine walking in and seeing Neoverse where it's like bright, glowing, something cool looking like the oceans, like fish are swimming in the ocean. It's going to really catch people's attention.
Absolutely. And it's tapping into all your senses as well. And it's making you really and truly, it is all about the experience these days.
Yeah.
We have said on many of our shows before that it does not boil down to price. It boils down to the experience that you are willing to deliver to your customer. Time and time again, it's proven to us that if you deliver an outstanding experience, the price becomes secondary. The experience becomes the driving factor. And they'll want to come back more often because the experience was so great. And when you are delivering, especially with something like with Neoverse, for example, or even the floor of the game, it was changing so rapidly. And there was something I was watching over here and then I was watching over there. Same thing with, like the Neoverse, for example, you're going to have that experience that's changing constantly and is tapping into something else. Maybe that's something that you saw from a childhood, or maybe that's, something else that you really thought was a cool image, and it just keeps you engaged the entire time. So what happens there? You're wanting to stay longer because you feel like you're a part of that experience.
Yeah.
And that transition really started a number of years ago, Orly, when bowling centers started transitioning into the more entertainment side of it.
Okay.
So you think even U-Tunes, for example.
Yeah, U-Tunes. So yeah, if you've never played U-Tunes before, you're able to take a few photos of yourself. I I think it's happy face, sad face, and a side profile. It puts your face up on these little, animations after you bowl, whether you get a strike, it might be something kind of cool, or even if you get a gutter ball, whatever it is. And that's, I've helped customers before that are like, oh no, just the kids are going to bowl. And I'm like, oh wow, you should really try. It's fun. And I start setting up, U-tunes for them, and they see like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, it takes your photos, it puts it up there, and they're like, actually, I'll play, because it's a whole, maybe their experience of bowling was competitive, or they were like, I don't really, not in the mood to do that, or I don't want to beat the kids maybe, in bowling. So seeing that it's just fun doing it, it gets you more involved in it, and it's fun for everyone.
Well, and it adds another layer. Not only are you excited because you're trying to knock down pins, but you also now are seeing yourself and everybody else in your group.
Yeah.
And especially like if you've got a larger group, and trying to bring a whole larger group together and find some commonality where people can laugh and they can have good, obviously the Neoverse wall, that's going to be outstanding at that, because it's so in your face, right? And it's everywhere you're involved. But even something like, taking pictures and seeing all the coworkers' pictures up on the screen, that is another way to involve everyone and really to just bring another level of excitement into that experience. So, I mean, and even with some of the later things that are, like hyper bowling's hyperactive, you can also put yourself into the game by having your photo be a part of what's going on the screen. So, it's all about just becoming part of it, feeling like you are just surrounded by entertainment and fun and good things, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the teams that are represented in All-Star Weekend, somebody like me can still enjoy it because I'm geeking out over the floor.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned getting everybody into it. A cool thing with Neoverse is, what I think is really cool is, for instance, on some of the backgrounds, when you're bowling and let's say you get a strike or 2 strikes in a row, it flashes up on, the LED wall for people to see across the center. So, I mean, how cool is that going to be when somebody's getting like 3 strikes, or, and people start cheering them on from a few lanes down? I think it's going to be cool to be able to let everybody kind of be involved in it and cheer people on, and just, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, bowling, and we've talked about this in the past, bowling has really evolved, and it's nice to see that bowling is definitely up with technology. I mean, we're the NBA too. And, incidentally, for those of you that follow the podcast and also follow us on Beyond the Frame, we are attempting to reach out and find out how NBA made that decision to make that interactive floor, which just intrigues me, because obviously they knew that by creating a little bit different experience, they could get the number of viewers up. Which they did. They got one more, and that's me.
Yeah, no, I'd be curious to know what the reason was. Was it, we want to get other people involved in watching, or is it, so that's going to be, and, when we're dedicated, we get dedicated to bringing someone on the show, we're going to get them on. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Orly, I'm very excited. I've been in this industry for many years. I'm not going to say how many, because I'm not going to give away my age. But it's really exciting to see that bowling, and especially Cubica AMF, we are right there where we need, where customers want to be, and we are delivering on what that customer wants to be. And I, for one, am super excited about the Neoverse. Just like I was super excited that the NBA had decided to integrate an interactive floor and make the experience so much more for All-Star. All-Star Weekend is exciting anyway, with all the stars in one place, but to be able to give another level of excitement to the people that wanted to watch that maybe didn't have teams represented, to me was just right where they needed to be. And so, bowling is no different. We are right where we need to be, and we are meeting the needs of our customers. And our goal is always not just to meet them, but to exceed them. So, so it's, start watching bowling centers in your area. If you're out there listening, check us out. This is not an infomercial by no means. This is, we just wanted to share with you that if you didn't get an opportunity, go back through and look at some of the clips from All-Star Weekend and check the floor out. Google it. You can find it on there. Again, I'm a freak for technology, so I got super excited, but I know it'll excite a lot of you as well. So, Orly, thanks for putting up with my geekiness.
always willing to.
Well, listeners, we really appreciate you tuning in to us today. You know, our goal each week is to just give you a little bit of something to think about. So if you got nothing more from today's show, then to take a look around at what the experience includes in your center and what are you offering that's going to really take your customers and give them that over-the-top experience. So if you have not already shared our podcast with your staff, make sure that you let them know where to go find us. We're on all major podcasting platforms. So check us out wherever you get your podcasts and encourage your team members to do the same. You never know, they may get one or two little things that's going to help your center advance to that next level. So until next time, thank you for being our listener. At any point in time you ever want to see us go in a certain direction on our podcast, feel free to reach out to us. We're always available. You can find us on Beyond the Frame. There's always a way to get in touch with us. So until next time, we hope you keep making bowling amazing and putting more money in that register.